This is around basics to big data, and this covers multiple cloud platform. We'll just take an example of Alibaba Cloud here, but this like most of the basics would cover most of the cloud platform. So just don't understand that specific to one specific cloud platform. Obviously, we'll be bringing up example on different platform with the time, but just to keep in mind that it's going to cover most of the platform. And we'll be opening up the uh, mics for everybody once the session finishes, like once the speaker finishes their speech and the demo. And in the meanwhile, you can use this chat option to chat with us. For the people who are on the live stream, they can chat on the Facebook Messenger. We'll try to handle as much comment as we can. So yeah, so we'll not wait much. I think it's almost done, I believe. Just 1 minute more and then we'll start. We have around 40, 50 people on different streaming channel at this point of time. And just another, we'll give another 1 or 2 minutes, 1 minute max, and then start. So be with us for another 1 minute. Okay, so like yeah, we can start. So hello everybody. This session is Amitunja, can you hear me out?
Yeah, I can hear you. Do you start recording?
Yeah, I started recording. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Okay. So yeah, so put yourself on mute. I will unmute you once start. So hello everybody. This is our one of the part of the series of session where we are trying to cover big data, data science a lot on different cloud platform. This session is specific to big data, basics to big data, and we'll try to demo. I will not say the complete big data platform of Alibaba Cloud, but we'll try to demo some of the basic uses of basic start from obviously from NoSQL perspective. Harajnis will connect at the end of the session. And thank you for joining. So this session is more around helping yourself set up your concept around big data. This is for beginner and also for the people who are advanced user but don't know how to use their concept on a different cloud platform like Alibaba or DigitalOcean or Linode. This specific session is more around it's more concentrated around Alibaba Cloud. We are multi-cloud for you. We have we run different channels, different sessions on different cloud topics, SaaS platform, Office 365, a lot of other things on different. We cover different cloud platform. We cover alternate cloud platform, and we try to add on more and more people, their thought, their experience on the platform. So anyone who wanted to give some session, he have some specific use case and experience, he can definitely and connect with us, and we'll allow him to come online. We'll help him to come online. So I have with me Mrityunjay Garg. He is a financial data expert. He has many years of direct service to the banking and IT industry. He has added experience of teaching and mentorship, and this is his LinkedIn. He will be talking specifically on this topic today. So please welcome him. So welcome Mrityunjay. And then I am Anjani Kumar. I am the co-host of the session today. I am the leader, mentor, enabler, and founder of Multi-Cloud for You. I have years of direct service to the IT industry, and I have added 5 years of entrepreneurship experience. This is my Bitly. You can connect. This is my LinkedIn Bitly profile, Bitly URL. You can connect with me directly anytime. This is our website, www.multicloudforyou.com. This you can join any of our session anytime, mostly on Saturday and Sunday, on www.multicloudforyou.com/streams. There are calendar below the page where you can see what are the next session going on, and /session is where you will get the recording. So agenda for today's session, I will obviously try to give the mic to Mrityunjay so that he can start, and then I will add up wherever it's required. So Mrityunjay, please, I'm just unmuting you.
Hi everyone, and first of all, thank you, Anjani, for giving me this chance to speak in the session. And I just wanted to share my little bit knowledge on the big data and then Alibaba Cloud, of course. And about me, I am Mrityunjay, and I basically stay in Singapore, and then I'm working in a banking industry since last 7-8 years, and then have many years of experience in IT services, directly involved in the data projects and all the applications. And today I just thought, when I was discussing with Anjani, I just thought, let me just put and share my knowledge with all of the audience or you guys in the regarding the big data. And then we thought about like today's session. So as you can see in your screen, the agenda for the session today is big data overview. Then I'm going to talk about 3 V's and the 5 V's of big data. What is this? And then we are going to little bit touch base on the Hadoop ecosystem and how we are going to integrate the big data with the on premises. And then of course the main agenda for this session is we are going to touch on the Alibaba Cloud, Big Data and Analytics. I'm going to talk about a couple of components of it and how we can do that, and a little bit about the Max Compute, what is this? And latter part of the session, I'm going to demo a small, I would say a small example, and then I'll show the analytics, like how we can see the results of the demo, and then after that we are going to have a Q&A session. Yeah, so this is about the agenda and contents for today. And please feel free to ask any question in the chat room and or latter part of the Q&A, and then we will try to come up with the best answer possible. Yeah. Just Anjani, one thing. Are you sharing this your screen, or can I share my screen?
Yeah, you can share your screen, Mrityunjay.
Okay, let me try to share because that.
You were able to see my screen, right?
Yes, I was able to see your screen, but it's just I just thought
okay.
to yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, later I'll come because because there are a few things. Okay, I'm just closing this part, I guess. Yeah, so everyone can see my screen.
Yes, yes, I can see.
Okay, let me just move out to the agenda. Okay, so yeah, let's start on the big data. So actually, so I would try to, as I mentioned in the agenda, I would try to make this session as informal as possible, and this is just for like information sharing and not as a teaching where like I'm saying. And why I'm saying this, because I think informally we all learn many things rather than it's a formal thing. And let's talk about big data overview. So I just wanted to share about the big data. When the terms big data comes, I think everyone asked this question, why this big data? What is this big means? So I was also wondering the same thing last few years back. And when I started knowing about big data, and I was thinking, oh, it's too big, and I was not touching this. That okay, this topic is too so big, and I don't want to go into that. But since last 1 year, I think last year I saw about it, and I thought, okay, let me go and do a little bit more deep dive and understand what is this big data. And then I later realized that this is nothing. It's just a data. It's just why the big name comes is like it's just a massive amount of data. It's coming so fast, and there's so much variety added over last couple of decades. So the data converted is too big. If we all mostly all are from the IT background or non-IT background, we all know that how massively the data growing each and every day. This slide I'm just talking about the source of data. So what are the sources? We are most of the sources covered here, but it's kind of maybe more of that. Like the data is coming from archives. There's so many documents. Then there's the medias, like the YouTubes. There are so many streaming channels. Then we have the social networks, which is like very active. I think most of us or every one of us are on social media like Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. Then we have other database storage, which is like having the relational database as well as non-relational database. And then we have massive amount of logs generated each and every day from our servers and the other machines. And what other things comes like recently is IoT device. I think we all know about the IoT or Internet of Things, and where we are getting all the data from sensors. And this picture I just added to the slide because it's just showing what is the velocity, variety, and volume. This is usually we understand as 3V. So this is about the velocity, variety. If I talk about social networks and I talk about the numbers of Facebook posts or tweets per day we are posting, then I think at this point of time, per day we are posting 500 million per day tweets and 6,000 tweets per second. So this is like a massive amount of data. If you talk about the Facebook, then we are commenting 5 billion comments each and every day. And that's why and that is so fast, like the data is changing every fraction of seconds. That's why if you see the social networks, the velocity is so high, and so as the volume. So volume and velocity. So these all different types of data having categorized into the velocity, variety, and volumes. And adding to that, what we are also having is like unstructured and structured data. So what is unstructured and structured? If we go in a little bit deep, then later we will understand. But I think this session is just talking about the overview. So we'll just understand from the complexity point of view. So if some data is like very easy to store, then we are saying as a structured data. It's very well formatted. And if the data is not stored, like emails or media files or something, then we can say as unstructured data. So yeah, so this is a high level overview of the big data. Of course, there are so many contents around this, and then once we'll go more deep into dive into that, then we will get more information, which may cover into our next sessions. And okay, so moving on to that, I talk about the V's. Like I already talk about the 3 V's. What is 3 V's? Mainly we talk about the variety, volume, and velocity. These 3 V's, but adding to the couple of more V's. Like it's a two more V's are there. So we already talk about the variety where like structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data. We have talked about the volumes already, where like we are talking about terabytes, a lot of transactions, tables, files, and then we have talk about the velocity, like where we have a batch, a real or near time, real and then processes. But what are the other 2 V's? Because here I'm talking about the 5 V's. So with all these components involved in the big data, there are a couple of more things involved, and that is called veracity and value. So what is veracity? Veracity is like trustworthiness of the data, how authentic the data is, and what is the availability and accountability. What is the origin of the data? So we also capture those things under the big data, uh, big data concepts. And then what is the value? Like, so we collected massive amount of data. We collected so fast, they're so authentic, all the trustworthiness, like what is the value it is adding to the system or as tests and events? How this data is going to helpful for us. So these things comes under value. So this is the 5 ways I am talking about like the big data. Yeah. Moving to that, to our agenda, what I said is like big data integration overview. So any data when it comes to the data is not useful as long as we are getting any sense of it, or we are having presentation, we are having using it really. Otherwise, like, we are tweeting thousands of tweets every day and then it just go to the public. But what the company do, many companies do is like they took the tweets, they do the analysis, they do some presentation, they come up with some kind of a decision making process at end of it, and that's where those data is getting useful. And that's where like you can say that information is comes under data. So how we are talking about integration, then how we approach it. So when it comes to integration, the first thing comes is data sources. What are the data sources? And again, we already talked about in the previous slides about the structured, unstructured data. And then there are few more like semi-structured as well, where like we are we are having partially structured and partially non-structured data. So this comes under semi-structured. And then if any one of you from the data background, or like anyone of you worked on the data, then you must be knowing about that ETL. What is this ETL is? ETL is stand for extract, transform, and load. So this is a process which basically use from getting the data from source files or source systems and putting into the data warehouse or database in our data storage. So here it comes like this process. Then we have a messaging. So recently, if you all aware, recently we are more into the streaming and messaging all these systems, and there are so many ecosystem or platform involved for this process for this. And then we are moving into the APIs. So now API is very famous to get the data and loaded into the distributed. Then we are talking about like data storage. So what are the data storage? So earlier we used to have the relational database, but now we are NoSQL is very famous because of the storing large amount of data and very easily. And then we have another storage which is like distributed file system. So distributed file system is like where like we are storing, and there and that's the one thing where all the big data concepts come, because when we talk about one storage system, so it's very hard to scale up uh, our system or increase the hard drive or of the system. So that's where it comes the distributed file, where like multiple machines comes in picture, and we are storing the data not at one place but multiple places. And then we are talking about the analytics, where like we have query and reporting, then we have map reduce, then we have search engines and advanced analytics, and then we have presentations layer. So this is like, a little bit ecosystem, or to say, or kind of a, uh, uh, it's kind of a overview of the integration, how integration works. But I talk about the Hadoop, then let me move to the next slides. Then what I talk about is like big data and the Hadoop ecosystem. Then where comes the Hadoop? If you know about Hadoop ecosystem, then it is very much famous big data platforms available for on-premises, not for the cloud. Of course, we are going to talk about the clouds later. But this is like on-premises system, and I just try to map all the components of the Hadoop, different Hadoops, into each and every layer of the system. So if you see here, we have a data sources, then we have an integration where like we have a ETL, where
And
we are using
Mrityunjay, to
yeah.
add you, so you are trying to show up the in-premises setup, but obviously Hadoop is set up online. Hadoop is provided as a system from a different cloud vendor, and most of the data lake platform that we see today has the HDFS in the background. So Just to add up, so what Mrityunjay is trying to show up here is obviously how the transformation from in-premises to the cloud platform has gone up. So Hadoop obviously it rules the world of the big data, but there are different transformation to Hadoop in this past 10 years that has happened. So obviously once we give a specific Hadoop session, we'll discuss on that. But yeah, Mrityunjay, please.
Yeah, thank you, Anjani, for adding that. Yeah, of course. Yeah, so what I mean is like all the cloud available today, like AWS, Alibaba Cloud, at Azure, so they of course have the SDFS integrated with that, but it is just available as like other. But except that, what we are going to cover today is like their inbuilt data warehousing solution and big data solution. So yeah, but of course this Hadoop is like the first thing. If it comes to anyone big data, then this is the first thing come in mind, and then I just thought to share this, and then moving on to the cloud and just trying to show how the transformation happens from this Hadoop to the cloud platform. Yeah. So when we talk about the distributed file system and storage,
and a quick time check. We have a promise, like we have to complete it by 12:15. So what we can do is like we can move a little fast because your demo is very fantastic that we wanted to give to user, right? So you need to have some more time into demo.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Anjani, for reminding the time. Yeah, of course. Okay, so let me move on to guys. Let me move on to the next slide, and then this is where like we are talking about the Alibaba Cloud Big Data and Analytics. What are the components available or services available in the Alibaba Cloud? So we have a eMapReduce. If you talk about why I was showing Hadoop system earlier is because this eMapReduce is nothing but it's a EMR, or like this is a solution. Basically use Hadoop, Spark, Kafka, Flink, and a Storm in the background. So if you are using Hadoop or Spark or Kafka in Alibaba Cloud, then you have to use this eMapReduce system. But and another system like which is like inbuilt in Alibaba, and like they give this is like so that is called Max Compute, and this conduct a large scale data warehousing with Max Compute. So it is, if you know about AWS, it is similar to the Redshift they are providing, and it is an inbuilt data warehouse solution where like the integration is inside, and they have their own engine, and then it will process all this system on the Alibaba. So this is a full-fledged solution provided, and there's no SDFS or anything involved here. This Dataworks, why I colored it different, because this is nothing but it's an integration platform. I'll show you in the next slide how it is going to look like. And then we have this couple of solutions, which is Quick BI and DataWay, which is like mainly analytical solution. This is like for seeing the results and how the visualization look like. So let's moving on to the next slide, and this is where I was talking about the Max Compute, because this is the inbuilt solution by Alibaba Cloud. So how it is going to work is basically if you guys attended earlier session from Anjani or other people, then you must be aware of this data in RDS or OSS. So OSS is, but just to give overview, OSS or RDS is nothing but RDS is like relational data store available on the Alibaba Cloud, and OSS is like object storage, object simple storage. I think OSS, it's just a file storage service. And this Max Compute, how it is going to, like we are going to data integration. So usually the files are stored on this data RDS or OSS is going to import into the Max Compute, and it's getting processed here, and then it's generated into the Quick BI. There are few benefits I would talk about this using Max Compute over the other SDFS or like EMR services.
So adding to Mrityunjay, so OSS is nothing but you can consider it as a data lake here, or a version of data lake, because the object storage service or S3 in Amazon or the containers which are there in the Azure are almost the same, and but obviously it's little advanced because you can directly use it and directly connect it to the max compute and process it. Obviously there are different version of storage services coming up which integrate uh, the storage services in a way that they can be directly played and used as a data lake.
Yeah, thank you, Anjani. So I was just talking about the few benefits which I just noticed, and it is like large scale computing and storage. Then it has reliable data security measures, and then multiple components, computational models, and then it is a cost effective over the other EMAP reduced service which we saw. Then moving on to this is a slide which I wanted to show you guys because this is kind of it's showing a big data ecosystem or other ecosystem. And if you guys attended the last session, then you must be knowing about this PAI integration services, I think, which is like mainly related to the AI and machine learning, which we have covered in our multi-cloud last session. And what I was talking about is this Dataworks product system, which is basically an IDE to develop all the systems. And then Max Compute. So Max Compute available as IaaS, which is like infrastructure as a service. And you can see this available as a product platform as a service and a software as a service. So these basically QBI and DataV is available as a software which we can use to generate the reports, but at the end of the core of it is like Max Compute, which is basically doing all the computation works for the our system. Yeah.
And if you just try to see this, so the stacking of the whole solution is almost similar to what we see in AWS, what we see in Azure, what we see in other platform, but mostly in the Google Cloud. And then if we understand our purpose is not to just showcase one cloud platform. So by taking the example of one cloud platform, we are trying to help you understand any other cloud platform that is there. If you try to stack on the same, if you take Excel, try to stack on the same pattern on any cloud platform, you will see these all things coming up. Like if you talk about QBI and DataB, Power BI is there, the whole Office 365 gamut is there to play with. Most of the things at the SaaS level, when you talk about Azure, when you talk about max compute and data, so obviously what I was talking about is there in terms of storage and then different version of SQL Server already live, SQL Data Warehouse, and there are a lot of advancement that has come up in Azure where the whole new version of SQL Data Warehouse can run into different containers, and where internally you can run HDFS file system and MapReduce directly to play with. So similarly in the AWS, it's much advanced in terms of how you use the different platform which is available there. But if you structure them all, it will come up in the same format as it is here. So you don't have to put it understand it like that. We are trying to give you a demo on one platform. It's not going to run on other platform. If you have the concept, you'll simply go play with it, and within a day or two, you'll be ready with any other platform which is there.
Yes. Thank you, Anjani. And yeah, as he has spoken, yeah, we are just showing one platform. I just compared that this Max Compute is exactly similar to the Redshift available in the AWS, and the similar concept we have in Azure as well and GCP. Yeah. So let's moving into the demo part, and yeah, I think quickly moving into the demo part because we are reaching the time already. We have few minutes, so the demo is going to be nice. So what we are going to is like we are going to create a Max Compute node, and then we are going to use the Dataworks. So we are going to use Dataworks. What I'm going to use here is I'm going to upload a CSV file. I'm creating a table. I'm uploading a CSV file, and then we are going to see how it is processing, and I'll create couple of nodes in the workflow, and then I'll show you the result in the diagram, which is going to be like this. Analytics is going to be the final output like this. Okay, so let me moving to the demo part. Anjani,
And as soon as
do you want to share anything?
Yeah, so yeah, you set up your machine for the demo. And in the meanwhile, I will try to tell you that If you need to start on Alibaba Cloud, there is one session on our YouTube channel, which is like how to set up a free VM on Alibaba Cloud. You can simply go look into multi-cloud for you YouTube channel or on our website, and you will see a specific text written how to create a free VM on Alibaba Cloud, where we have described each and every step to start with a free VM on this platform. Similarly, we are coming up with the option for DigitalOcean, Linode, and obviously the three major prime major platform: Google Cloud, Azure, and AWS. Yeah, Mrityunjay.
Okay, so if I go back here, then we have to go back into the products, and I just want to try to show where we can find the max compute. So it comes under analysis. So if you see all the EMAP reduce and then other things are here. So we have to just choose max compute, and when we will choose max compute, it will automatically redirect to a Dataworks, which is I already saw as a studio, but for you it might be not coming here, and because I have already created few workspaces here, and then I have already activated the regions. So you can see I have activated Singapore regions and the China regions. Then if you are going to create first time, then it might be for you it's going to come like this. Which I just wanted to show, just like this. It will go like this. Like if I'll check change any language, any region, like if I'll see Singapore, it's already activated. So this is coming, not buy now option, but if I'll take any other, so it's coming as this. And we have to go and activate for the Dataworks. What I will do, actually, I have another slides for this, which I'll maybe create as a I would say I would create as a video, and I'll share to this group later. I have already covered all the uh, details how to create the account, so I'll not waste my time over there, and I'll just show the direct demo. I'll share this as a video later and to the group. Yeah, Anjali. So so directly I'll go and create the workspace for you. I have already created a couple of workspaces, but this is for test purpose. So I'll show you how to create the workspace as well. So maybe we'll create workspace, and then I'm selecting the Singapore as the region. And let's say I'm saying the workspace name as Big Data Demo
So
29.
workspace is nothing but it creates a space for your data, for all your experiment, and it's more like a project you create. The cost is very less. So if you do it for experimentation, I think Mrityunjay, how much it costed you? Less than $1, right?
Yeah, I think it's at basic. I'll show you where it will show the cost, estimate cost, but usually it's like for creating workspace, as long as we are selecting the pay as you go, it's a zero, unless until you are going to use it. But
Okay.
as I say, showed you in the another slide which I've created, I have captured both the options. If you go and see, like if we have two modes, like one is subscription, one is pay as you go. So subscription is a little bit costly, which we might not require. We should usually go for pay as you go because we are going to for our just demo purpose. And then the few things which I also realized, like, as Anjani mentioned, when you create the account using the referral, then you will get $20 or $30 into your account, and then you may
And
be charged
referral,
from there only.
yeah, a referral link, you can get it from us anytime. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll show you later. If time permits, I'll show you the screen as well where I have captured my referrals and all those things. Yeah, let's move on to the demo. So I just put that name here. Then mode, we have two modes, like production and the development. So I'm just selecting here the basic mode, and I'm putting next. And then we have to select this max compute. Now you see that compute engine is saying automatically. So Dataworks, this is a Dataworks space we are creating, and what we are selecting is the compute engine. So compute engine, we have option for max compute and then EMAP reduce. This is what I was talking about. But I don't get this option because I have not enabled it. I have just enabled max compute for me. Now this subscription mode I have not bought, so that's why it's coming red. And then I have just bought pay as you go because I don't want to pay upfront. And if you
Yeah.
are a
So
machine learning guy, yeah.
yeah, adding to Mrityunjay. So whenever you need to enable, like if you first have to enable that service, once you enable that service, then you will be like when you go and search that service, obviously we'll be able to see that service. First thing is that um, enable that service. Once you have enabled that service, you can create project, workspace, and play with it. And for some of the data services, you need to do a real name verification, which we have shown into multiple, most of our sessions in the past, which are mostly dedicated to this platform. So you can go and navigate to any of those sessions and see how we are doing it. And obviously for creating the account, Mrityunjay has already captured, and there is a complete video on that, how to create your first VM on Alibaba Cloud. Once you see that video, you'll be able to clearly, like easily able to be onboarded on the Alibaba platform, and then you can use this and experiment it.
Yes. So adding to the Anjani, actually we have to go put our credit card information or as you say Paytm information to create the account. Then we have to do verify. Then you can
In
only use
India,
this kind of services.
yeah. So in India, you not even have to put the credit card information. You just have to put your Paytm account. You just have 10, 15, 100, 200 rupees on your Paytm account, and that's all.
Okay. So moving ahead, I'll just give the Max Compute project name, and then I am just going to create this workspace. So yeah, so this workspace is usually creating. I think it will just take maybe a few seconds to create. Yeah. So yeah, the workspace is created. Then I'll go to the my workspace, and then if you see, I have created few already here. So I have my list. So I'm going to select the demo workspace today, and what it will open is it will open the Data Studio, which is part of this Dataworks. So Dataworks has few services already: data integration, Data Studio, Data Map. So these are all the services available here. So what we are going to have a Data Studio. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to in the Max Compute and I'm creating a table, and I'm just, let's say I'm putting up, I have a table with bank data, which I already keeping here. Like, okay, so I have a bank data table. So I have before going to that, I'll just try to show where is my labs. Sorry for the inconvenience. It's coming up.
And you have seen that it's so easy. Like you just the way you played with your old school SQL is just that only. And there are a lot of menus that come up. You can directly use those
Yeah,
queries, insert a statement, and it will work. Mostly the Whatcom
yeah,
SQL
that's
will work, right?
correct. Yes. So I have this data, banking data, which I have downloaded from the internet, of course, and then it is around 4.61 MB. And this is the data. I'm going to create this table and uploading this data, and then we are going to create some results based on some queries. We are going to just run some query. So I've just created this bank data and then commit it. So it will go to this, and then what it will give me these options. So I am going to create the DDL statement. So if you know anyone from, like, we all are from the data background, so we know how to create a table uh, in a database. And then this is a syntax which I am just going to copy, and you all get easily from the internet, or like, how to write it a database, or how to create a table. And then I'm just for time, I'm just
I'm
copying and
100%
pasting it.
sure most of us are here from data background. Else they would
Yeah.
have gone bored and they would have moved out.
Yes. So I'm just creating the table schema and then confirming, and then if you see this, the statement is passed, and then I'm just putting this the bank data. What is the display name? Bank data. And then I need to commit to production environment. So I'm just committing it. Then, okay. Okay, so what it did is, usually if I go to the tenants table, sorry, workspace table, then it has created a bank data here. If you see all, then it has already created a bank data. Now the next thing we are going to is we are going to import the data into this table. So how we are going to do is like we have, if you see this workspace table, we have this button where like it's saying import. So I'll just click that, and usually when select a table, so the table is not there, but if I just put any 3 character, it will automatically search the available tables here in the available tables in the databases. Let me do one more thing. Let me create one more table where we are going to store our results. So which I'll create as the result table, because my idea is to just create the data, upload the data into the table, and just run this query, select based on few conditions. I'll take this query and put in the result table, and then store automatically into the result table. So this is our whole demo. So what I will do is like I'm just creating a table beforehand because I wanted to show how the tables are coming in the list. Yeah, so I'll just create another table which is called result table. Then I'm just committing here. Then same name, result table. Again, DDL statement we can go and execute, which I already have handy with me to save time. And then I'm just creating this table. Okay. So this table is also created, and you see here one thing, that this table is not showing here. Why? Because I have not committed this table. So even though you create the table but not committed, then it will not come here into the workspace. And if you see this bank data table, I have already committed. So this option is already disabled. Yeah. So I'm just going, I'm aware of everything, then it's committed. So if you see the data is already here, now the result table is here. Now if I'll go to import, and then if I'll type bank, then it's coming bank data. If I'll type RES, then it's coming result data. So this is what I wanted to show. So I just selected my bank data. Then this is automatically showing all the column names, then type, then description. Everything is coming here. Then I'll just press next. I'm going to upload the local files. Usually, I think they are allowing local files 10 MB or something. There's a there's a limit which we need to go and see. So I'm just going to select this banking file, which is a flat file. And the data is my comma separated. First row is field name. Okay. Yeah, so my first row is not as a field name, because if you see the data, I have no headers there. Then I'll put next. And then by default, this is coming. So this is a small bug which I catch. I think it's something by percentage or by something, that option. So by name and these two, by default, this option is coming. But this is a little bit bug in the Alibaba Cloud platform. And then we have import data. So the data is importing. Okay, so the data is imported already. Now how we will check the data? So let me just create a workflow, and then we'll see. So max compute, I'm going to into the I'm going into the workflow, and I'm creating my workflow is like demo 29th March. I just wanted to show how the workflow can be created, and then it can be used as a batch, because when we are talking about integration, we are talking about the SSIS. If you work on SSIS or any ETL or any layer, then you must be aware of the pipelines what we have created. Usually we start with, we have a zero load, which we can say that start. This is nothing but just creating a start point from here. And then we can see ODPS SQL. This is not it, but a SQL statement. This is map reduce. So these all are the different nodes we can create. So I'm just creating a SQL node, and which is called insert data. Okay, and then I will just tag this one. And if I just double click on here, then I'll get this SQL kind of, interface where I can just go and write my query, select count. Let's say I just count a star from my bank data, right? And now it comes to testing part. So what I'm going to do is I'm running it. So I have two things here. If you see the expense estimate, I'll just click here and it will show me how much money it's going to cost me if I'm running this statement. So if you see, it's pretty much $0. So $0 means it's going to cost me nothing. I'm just testing my data. And if I'll run it, then it will show me some result. Yeah, you can see the logs also, and then execution completed, and then I have 41188. These many records I have in total. So that means my data is loaded perfectly. But this node we have created as insert data. So this node should be executed what? Like inserting the data. So I'm just going to copy this one, this query, and then pasting it here. I'm just deleting this and then pasting this. What this query is doing is like override table, result table. So this is getting education and the marital count and putting as number from the bank data where the housing is yes and the marital is single. So this is just a small query to run. So again, we can go and check the estimate. I mean, no need to check every time, but if you see, it's just costing me 1 cent, which is like very small amount. And if I'll just run this, then again, it will go through all the process. It will go through all the nodes and it's executing all this query. And at the end of the day, it will say that the query executed successfully. Yeah, so if you see all these info, so current task status finish, cost me is this much cent, this second. So this is the time it took if I go and see the logs. Yeah. So if you see, I can just save it and then the result data is ready. But again, I am taking another node, which is, I would say result data. Because if I go by for the demo purpose, I'm just taking this node. Otherwise, it's going to be a kind of pipeline where like I'll load this data here, then insert something here, then do my processing here. But it's just for the demo purpose. So I'm just going to view my result data here. So what I'm going to do is like select a star from result. So I'm going to see my result table. Yeah. So again, if you see the expense, it's $0.01. And I'm just going to run it.
And it actually costs less than that. It's just the estimate. So maybe it may
Correct.
be
It's just the
variable.
estimate
Yeah.
showing.
And it'll mostly show as a 0 only on your billing count.
Yeah. So if you see all these details, so it's showing me here details, right? And then if you
And
go
one more
and see the
thing, if you remember,
yeah.
and one more thing, if you remember, when Mrityunjay choose the environment, so there is a beauty that it has a production and a dev environment up front. It has an option to choose production or dev environment. So if you choose dev environment, obviously the cost will be much lesser than the production environment. Mrityunjay,
Yes, actually,
unfortunately, choose the production environment.
correct. Actually, I have choose dev environment. So I have another workspace which is having the dev and production, and then there I have not seen this option, like that showing the expenses, and there's no expense there. So it looks like I have just chosen the production environment, and that's why it's showing the data. So yeah, so guys, this is
Should
the
be
what
almost free.
result I
We'll
wanted
update
to
you.
show. Yeah, so we are almost finished. So So this is the kind of data result we can see here. You can go and see the different kind of logs and different kind of charts. And if you want more of it, then we can just go here, data analysis, and then we can click it here. And then it will open a kind of a Excel. And if you are Excel expert, then maybe you are good in doing the pivot and other function. If you can export, import, and do other things. But if you want to see more here, then you can just go into the detail modes and you can see this data where it's saying the count is 8, then valid this, then distinct this, and frequency, what is the frequency, then what is number, frequency top 5. So it has a little bit more detailed
So
information.
this is the beauty of it. So instead of like using Google Sheet or any sheet or Excel sheet, a lot of things you have. This studio has everything for you, almost like a sheet, to a report, to analytics, all integrated into one system. And you can simply do your analysis, do all your job, do everything, and then be confirmed that this is going to work, and then you work on it or make it production live. That's the beauty of the whole system.
Yeah, so this is it. This is what I have captured as analytics demo. So if you see the demo and then if you see this screen, it's almost similar. So this is what I have
So this is directly, so this is automatically integrated with the reporting platform, right, Mrityunjay? So on the reporting platform, you go and you just do whatever, like you play with, like
yes,
as like you are playing with Excel, and you can generate your report and then publish it, and then you can do whatever.
yes, that's true. And and this is what I wanted to show, because I think if we are from the data integration background, anyone, then this node by node execution and pipeline, we all know, like how we can integrate the data and moving from one part to another part and getting the things done. So this is, I would say, that's why I said, like this Dataworks studio is very vast, and I think we could have maybe a separate session on this, and then we can have a mini session on this.
Obviously, yeah.
Understanding this.
So obviously, so we are going to cover that in the upcoming next 1 or 2 months, which is like that's our theme. So different data studio from different platforms, different cloud platform. Obviously, NoSQL, big data. As Archana was asking about NoSQL. So obviously there are multiple NoSQL platform in Alibaba Cloud. We'll come up with a separate session on those NoSQL platform. Mixed compute is almost like a NoSQL platform, the way it's playing, the way it's working, but obviously it's more like a big data and data warehouse integration. It's a mix and match of couple of things. But we'll come up with the different NoSQL platform. There is a what do you say, the MongoDB platform available as a NoSQL platform on Alibaba Cloud, and directly it's a direct implementation of MongoDB with a different name and things like that. So we'll definitely set up a session, keep a separate session for that. But I think the most interesting part is the way the whole studio has been set up, where you can play with it like a SQL query. You can work like a SQL server, the way you work with any of the SQL Server Oracle platform. Insert your data, create your schema, and then you can use the power of the big data in the background and the reporting platform and the sheet or the Excel to analyze and do the analytics, and obviously the ETL which is there. Yeah, so I think we should open for the question, right? So anyone, if you
we should open for the question. I just wanted to, while opening, I just wanted to show the coupons, which I promised initially that what we are getting. So I have my, of course, I have my coupon codes, but here, like nominal value this, spend this. Then we have 3 coupons which I got. So yeah, so this is what we got, and then I think bills and summary will check later. But yeah, you can open for questions and answers. Yeah, sure. We have queries.
So coupons are always also available on the site, so anyone can go and there directly link it, right? So that is also there.
Yes, true.
Or yeah, you can share your coupon here if you have one. You can simply ping that coupon. In the meanwhile, I'm opening up the people for the questions. there will be an option to share your coupon, refer a friend. So see here, you see refer a friend is there in the below section. At the left side from down, voucher management, refer a friend. Okay, so guys, we are open for the questions. Atul, yeah. So, yeah, Atul, any questions? Atul, I have opened up the mic.
Thanks, Atul.
Yeah,
Gaurav.
just want to say thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, Mrityunjay, for this wonderful session.
Thanks, Atul.
Okay.
Gaurav, we will have more sessions on this topic, maybe because this is just starting on the big data and topic. So I think in coming future we will going to have more sessions on big data and more clouds.
Yeah, Dwinder, yeah.
Hi. Yes. So I just saw, so this was a great session on big data, and we moved about and we saw how the Alibaba compares to Hadoop and Hive. There was one more technology that I heard of, and which was Snowflake, which is quite different, I believe, as compared to the two systems that we talked about, where we always have a distributed file system or a NoSQL database. So how do you think a Snowflake compares to other technologies that are there in the market?
So obviously Snowflake, we haven't done much research other than the Snowflake schema based on which the whole platform is set up. But what I understand, what I remember is Snowflake is more concentrated around the data warehouse. But that's in our radar. We'll definitely set up a specific session on Snowflake maybe in April only, because I think multiple people have asked us, and we'll try to answer your question there in detail.
No, so actually, just want to share something. So we were working on a project for Cisco, and we were migrating from Hadoop to Snowflake because Hadoop system failed in terms when it comes to managing a lot of data and data governance in Cisco. So that is something happened. But I really what I wanted to know is, and I would need your help if you guys can help me understand when you research on it, of how does Snowflake use it, because they are not using a distributed file system. So how are they handling that big amount of data? What is the new technology that they are using? That is something I'm not able to find. So it would be really helpful if you guys can also sometimes research and help us understand.
Yeah, obviously. So what I understand and what I remember discussing with few of the people. So Snowflake, obviously, it's not necessary that everyone is going to copy the SDFS or distributed file system. But there are three ways to handle that out. Like if you see, one is a distributed file system, another one is a distributed computing in itself, like where different multiple nodes are there and multiple nodes have their own files. So obviously file is going to get distributed, going to get replicated right into multiple system, and then they are going to use it. But it's not like that. If you want to massively scale something, is going to happen on a single system or a single file system or maybe couple of replicas. You will have to play in a distributed world. There are different ways. They are event driven, and the way the Kafka, the whole streaming pattern works, right? So a different system. Obviously, we'll try to help you out, understand each and every nitty gritty of Snowflake. Give us some time, and definitely, because multiple people have asked, we'll try to set that up later in the April.
Okay, thank you so much.
And you are already connected on the meetup, right? So if we set up some session,
so
you'll get
today is the first time I installed all this, and I got to know that this kind of sessions happen. So this is my first meeting. Yeah, I'll definitely join more of the meetings.
No. So obviously you are on the meetup, right?
Yes, I am on the meetup. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so once we set up some session, So once we set up some session, you will get the information. Yeah. Obviously, we'll inform you. I'll try to search your name and then update you.
Thank you so much.
And connect to one of our WhatsApp group. So that's also there. It will be easy for.
Oh yes, I would love to get with us.
Yeah. Our Facebook group is also there. Yeah, Atul. Yes, Atul.
Yeah, Mrityunjay, can we put a pre-limit on the billing in the Alibaba cloud so that when
Yes, this option, I think there we can put a limit, like that How
And
much
there's
you are going
one,
to charge?
there's one more thing. So pre-limit I haven't seen. I was also exploring it, but it's more like if you do your unless you are
Alert,
not
right?
doing your setup alert, unless you are not doing your name verification, which is the real name verification. After every $5 it will shut down your account. So you have to pay that $5 and then move on. So that's another safety of it. So I've seen it. But now once you do your real name verification, mostly for the data project or the data science project, as Atul, you are more around data science and Mrithuja in the data warehouse. So you may have to go through a real name verification. Then you will, the best way is to set up alert. But the good thing is for most of this data project or the data science project, whatever we have identified or experience is almost $0 for experimentation. But once you apply on the production environment, once it goes live on the APIs and start exposing to the external world, then mostly either there is a subscription of $200 or the pay as you go is chargeable. Many of these productionalized version are in the subscription mode. They are not completely in the pay as you go mode. So for definitely for experimentation, it's very less like it's much less costly. Does this answer your question, Atul?
Anyone having any other questions?
Yeah, thanks Pratyunjay, thanks Anjani.
Yep. Thanks, Atul.
Thanks everybody for joining. There was some glitch with the streaming channel. The machine may have gone down. So from where we stream to our servers. But from next time we'll try to keep our battery up to date. But yeah, obviously after this recording is done, we'll restream it. So everyone who has not seen it or got a glitch will be able to see it. Thank you everyone for joining, and it's really our pleasure to host you here.
Yep. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, Anjani.
Bye.